The saint whom we celebrate today is Saint Bernard. He was the greatest member of the Cistercian order, the monastic order where both Father Cekada and Bishop Dolan once belonged. Saint Bernard didn't found the order, but he made it very famous by greatly enlarging it, being inspiration for numerous vocations and living such a holy, peaceful and zealous life that this became one of the most appreciated monastic orders in the whole church. Saint Bernard, who lived in the 12th century, he was from France, and when he was young, he was very handsome and liked good time, good parties, and very extravagant times of recreation. But his heart was broken when his mother died when he was just 17 years old. And Saint Bernard might have led a life of sadness and might have let the anxiety to get hold of him had it not been for his lively and joyful sister named Humbeline. She cheered him up, and soon Bernard was his old self again, very popular young man, because he was not only good-looking and brilliant, but everybody also loved him because of his good humor and because of his very likable character. But one day, Bernard greatly surprised his family and friends by telling them that he was going to join the Cistercian order, which had a reputation of being very, very strict monastic order, much more strict than the Benedictines were. So the family and friends, they did all they could to make him give up the idea. But in the end, it was Saint Bernard who convinced his family, namely his 4 brothers and uncle, and also 26 of his friends, to join him and go into the convent of the Cistercians. As Bernard and his brothers left home, they said to their youngest brother named Nivard, who was playing with the other children, "Goodbye, you will now have all the lands and family property for yourself." But the little boy answered, "What, will you take heaven and leave me the earth? Do you call that fair?" And not so long after, Nivard too joined his big brothers in the monastery. In his religious life, Saint Bernard was the admiration and example to all of his fellow monks. To keep himself fervent, Saint Bernard would ask himself every morning, "Why am I here? Why was I created on this earth?" That simple catechism question, that was the one which spurred him on to become a saint. After all, the answer to the question, why did God make us, is that He made us to know, love, and serve Him in this world, and to share His eternal happiness in heaven. Really, that was all it took to make Saint Bernard such a great saint, always striving and making a decision to serve God and his neighbor as well as he could, so that after his death he could go to heaven. After 3 years of religious life, Saint Bernard was sent to start a new Cistercian monastery and to be its leader. And there he and his monks lived such a good and heroic lives for God that over 100 men soon joined them, thus creating a surge of vocations in the Cistercian order. Saint Bernard himself would have liked just to stay in his place, working and praying in his monastery. But his superiors called him out to preach to the people, preach the crusade, preach the spirit of penance, so that God would not be so angry to the world, but would look upon the faith of his children who love him and who want to serve him. He was also called to be a peacemaker, settling the differences between the earthly rulers so that they could join forces to fight against the enemies of God and the enemies of the Church. He also became the advisor of popes and had even time to write many beautiful spiritual books and hymns. He truly became one of the most famous men of his time, and still Saint Bernard's greatest desire was just to enter heaven one day. Our saint had such a great devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. He always greeted her with a Hail Mary when he passed her statue. And one day, the Blessed Mother returned his greeting by saying, "Hail, Bernard." In this way, she showed how much his love and devotion pleased her. So, dear faithful, today we will go back to the very beginning or the birth of our own spiritual life, the things which we learned from our first communion catechism. Why did God make us? And that simple answer is all what it takes to make us saints in heaven as well. God made us to know, love, and serve Him in this world, so that we can one day share His eternal happiness in heaven. God bless you.